अभी जब ब्रेक के बाद करो यार, मैं कोवैक्स वापस से। feels very weird. कितने बच्चे हैं इसके टास्क? लास्ट है ना, इसको थोड़ा जमीन से करते हैं फिर फुल भी चीज़ें 100% एक्यूरेसी के साथ। दो और में से तो रीस्टार्ट करूँगा। पास में आ जाते हैं क्या सॉरी। इंदौर में उसको तो फिर रीसेट करता हूँ जो किसी ने एकदम माँ में मत किया कि मैं फर्स्ट बिट एक्यूरेसी का भी सही मारा है। और 2 दिन तो इतना गंदा ही चलाना है बीच में, पता नहीं क्यों। अरे फ्लो टूट गया था यार बीच में ट्रेनिंग वगैरह का, तो बाहर जाना पड़ गया था शहर से। जब से वापस आया ना, 1 हफ्ता बाहर लगा, तब से लॉक इन नहीं हो पाया मैं। बट मैं रोज़ ट्राई कर रहा था कि थोड़ा थोड़ा करके मोमेंटम बिल्ड करूँ, और रोज़ थोड़ा 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 करके ज़्यादा नहीं लगा। और थोड़ा वापस बादाम तो किसी कोई स्टैकअप पड़ने वाला है। 11 पे काम करते हैं भले ही 2 बॉल हिट हो पूरे उसमें सेशन है, बट अल्लाह जस्ट यू नो सीजन के लिए खेलते हैं अभी, यूजर्स है ना। ये टारगेट स्विचिंग खराब हो रहे हैं काफी, ये वही प्लेस खत्म करके एम लैब्स में जाके टारगेट स्विचिंग की प्रैक्टिस करेंगे। इसमें कुछ ट्राई कर रहा हूँ मैं, सो डेफिनेटली नहीं बैठने वाला इसमें सर, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग समथिंग आउट। बहुत मेहनत लगी भाई, एटलीस्ट दिसंबर तक जाके तब थोड़ा क्वालिटी आएगी इनमें, वो भी रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस करने में। अभी तो आई थिंक मैंने अभी से कितने 11-12 दिन पहले कंटिन्यूस करना शुरू किया था वो, बट फ्लो टूट गया। यूजलेस फील हो रहा है यार यार। एम लैब्स में टारगेट करके इन गेम में जा रहा हूँ यार। सर यूजलेस feels very useless and specifically because I think one of the things in which I'm struggling right now is uh, टेंशन मैनेजमेंट। मेरे को अपनी ग्रिप नहीं फिक्स है अभी कि कौन सी ग्रिप है। लाइक आई एम स्टिल गेटिंग यूज्ड टू होल्डिंग द माउस अगेन, ऑल्दो इट्स बीन सम टाइम, बट मैं चीज़ें डिफरेंट चीज़ें ट्राई कर रहा हूँ ना। सो लेट मी शेयर एम डैब्स। सो बेसिकली वही मैं डिफरेंट चीज़ें ट्राई कर रहा हूँ, ग्रिप्स एंड ऑल, कुछ मिला नहीं है मेरे को। Okay. What the fuck? जो पासवर्ड यूज कर रहा है यार सर, साइनिंग विद स्क्रीन का क्यों रहता है इसमें? वो डाइविंग क्रैश से फाइल बनाया गया है। ये रे मेरे को वही ना यूजर नेम और यूज करता। क्या पासवर्ड तो सही लगा मैं .com। सब पासवर्ड एक मिनट है। Let me try something else. भाई इसका भी फॉरवर्ड पासवर्ड करना पड़ रहा है। छुट्टियां पर मेरे को नींद नहीं आई यार रात को। मैं 4 बजे का अलार्म लगाया था सुबह। मैंने आई डोंट नो, आई थिंक 9 से 12:30 तक सोया। उसके बाद मैं सो रहा था कि यार नहीं उठता नहीं करता क्यों, बट वो लग रहा था टाइम वेस्ट हो रहा है भाई, लेट आऊँ कुछ करने को। ओके इट सीम्स कि कुछ बीटी हुई है अगर फॉरवर्ड पासवर्ड करने पे। मेरे पे वो नहीं आया ईमेल कोड। ओके अब आया। आई थॉट किसने हैक करके वो कर दिया। फुल हो गया सीन सॉर्ट। लेट मी शिम एम भी सेटअप होना पड़ेगा। मैं आज ही वापस डाउनलोड किया। Holy smokes. Yep, मुझे पासवर्ड डाल दिया मैंने वापस से। अब पहले से ही। Alright.
To the point where the thing that was bothering you is no longer focused, and you don't feel it anymore. Go after it. I never compromised that. I never allowed anybody to tell me what I was capable of accomplishing. I never let anybody tell me that I can't do. Right? I went after it. If you want to accomplish something or do something that a lot of people think is difficult to accomplish, you have to put all your eggs in one basket. There's no compromise. Doubt is such a strange thing. There'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. Wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless. And you just put one foot in front of the other, you control what you can't control, and then you see what the outcome is. Right? If you win, great. You're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey over again. If you lose, it sucks, but you're going to have to wake up the next day and do the journey all over again anyway. You know, if you want to play at an excellent level, if you want to do something excellent, you have to be excellent all the time. It's a way of life. It's not just I show up on Monday and be excellent. No, it don't work that way. You got to be excellent across the board. Right? And that's how you build habits. When excellence becomes a habit, then that's just who you are. The fact of the matter is I'm still trying to get better. Make sure that you put your mind to it and go at it 110%. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Not only academically, but whether it's athletically, you have to go at it 110%. Don't let anybody tell you can't do something. The only person that can stop you from accomplishing something is yourself. Mental toughness means when you're going through a really tough time, your body's sore, whatever the case may be, I can't get through this particular thing. Right? To me, being mentally tough means you can take your mind someplace else and concentrate on that other thing to the point where the thing that was bothering you is no longer focused and you don't feel it anymore. It's a competition. My mission is to destroy you. When I play against somebody and we line up, you guard me, my whole purpose was to get you to reconsider your life choice to play basketball. So at the end of the day, you'd be like, you know what? Maybe this isn't for me. How can I mentally figure out ways to break you down? How can I show you that, no, I have the edge? I'm going to beat you. I'm going to let you know I beat you. I'm going to want you to reconsider your professional life choice. Really simple, man. I'm there to just absolutely demoralize and dominate the person that I'm playing against and the team I'm playing against. You know, and that was my mentality going into every single game, is just to absolutely obliterate this guy. I wasn't surprised that I scored 80 points. And that sounds really crazy to say, but truly I was not. My shot felt sharp. My footwork was sharp. My conditioning was sharp. I mean, that summer I put a lot of time in the gym. I put a lot of time on the track. I could run all day. The most important thing, I think, for players that come after me is to understand that these things are possible, because you don't want to ever limit your imagination. How in the world can we inspire people if we're continuing to give them what they believe is possible? Not really inspiring anyone, right? So I think that is the most important thing that I would like the next generation of athletes to take from that. And the greatest fear you face is yourself, because we all have dreams, and it's very scary sometimes to accept the dream that you have. And it's scarier still to say, okay, I want that. It's scary because you're afraid that if you put your heart and soul into it and you fail, then how are you going to feel about yourself, right? So being fearless means putting yourself out there and going for it. No matter what, go for it. Not for anybody else, but for yourself. I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness. You got a lot of people paying their hard-earned money to come watch you perform. It's your job to be in shape. It's your job to be strong enough to perform at that level every single night. And as a competitor, I'm not ducking shit. So if there's something I can leave for this next generation is to have that constant curiosity about the game. You have to continue to ask questions and try to understand why things happen. Because when you understand why things happen, then you understand how to make things happen. The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing. You make the right play. You make the right play. And in life, it's the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. You know, it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. What I've learned is to always keep going. Always. No matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready. He had a great quote that said, rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not going to rest, I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have. Even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going.
समझ नहीं आ रहा है
Have a good time. Enjoy life. Life is
हाथ
too
में जो
short to
comfortable
get
लगता है ना
bogged
यार,
down and be discouraged.
वो
You
करने
have to
पे
keep moving.
मेरा गन
You
पे
have to keep
कंट्रोल
going.
जाता है।
Put one foot in front of the other, smile, and just keep
तो
on
आज मैं
going.
क्लॉक ग्रिप ट्राई कर रहा हूँ।
My philosophy was a very simple one. And I made a promise to myself that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time,
All right,
I'd have something that was beautiful. If you
एक
live your
वो
life
कर
to
लेते
just
हैं
get better every
बहुत
single
टाइम
day,
से नहीं किया, मेरे को बहुत पसंद था ये
for
करना।
20 years, what do you have?
मल्टी शॉट
Is how do you
एक ये करता है
negotiate
फिर
with yourself?
इन
Talk
गेम
about the
शुरू
mental
करेंगे।
side of it, like the thoughts that happen in your mind when you're going through a competitive situation or you're facing a tight deadline. You talk yourself out of it. You say, okay, well, it won't be a big deal if I don't do it, or I don't have to get up on a Tuesday morning to go ahead and hit the track. What does this day really mean? Like, when you have those conversations with yourself, are you able to negotiate your way out of that little, voice telling you it's not that important? Or does that little voice get the best of you? I think that's what separates people who go on to do great things versus people who don't.
If you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability. No matter. There's a quote from one of my English teachers at Lower Merion named Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not going to rest, I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as we go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
At what age did that goal become crystal clear?
I made that deal with myself at 13 years old.
At 13 years
पर देख
old.
रहे हो हाई स्कूल
It's the
मेरा
deal I made.
1,15,000 होता था and now
And where did
it's
inspiration come from?
90.
The love of the game. The love of
ऐसा
the
ही है,
game, the
मतलब
challenge. Like,
keep
I would
doing
watch
it,
Magic
तो
play,
याद
I'd watch
आता है।
Michael play, and I would see them do these unbelievable things, and I'd say, can I get to that level? I don't know, but let's find out. Let's find out. And so that curiosity to see where I could push this thing led me down that path, I think. I had a summer where I played basketball when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and here I come playing, and I don't score 1 point the entire summer. Not a free throw, nothing, not a lucky shot, not a breakaway layup, 0 points. And I remember crying about it, being upset about it. And my father just gave me a hug and said, listen, whether you score 0 or score 60, I'm gonna love you no matter what.
Wow.
Now that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But to hell with that, I'm scoring 60. And from there, I just went to work. I stayed with it. I kept practicing. I think that's when the idea of understanding a long-term view became important. Because I wasn't going to catch these kids in a week. I wasn't going to catch them in a year, right? So that's when I sat down and said, okay, this is going to take some thought. Right? What do I want to work on first? All right, shooting. All right, let's knock this out. Let's focus on this. Half a year, 6 months, do nothing but shoot. Right. After that, all right, creating your own shot. And you focus. So I started creating a menu of things. When I came back the next summer, I was a little bit better. I scored. Yeah, it wasn't much, but I scored.
This is 12, 13.
12, 13. And then 14 came around, back half of 13, 14 years old, and then I was just killing everyone. And it happened in 2 years. And I wasn't expecting it to happen in 2 years, but it did, because what I had to do was work on the basics and the fundamentals. Well, they relied on their athleticism and their natural ability. And because I stick to the fundamentals, it just caught up to me. And then my body, you know, my knees stopped hurting. I grew into my frame, and then it was game over.
Wow. Were you always competitive from the day you were born? You were super competitive?
Competitive with things that I participate in. So I'll put it to you this way. So basketball for me was the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better
My ultimate's ready.
Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft. So at 13 years old, I had a I had a kill list. And so, they used to do these rankings, Street and Smith basketball rankings. And I was nowhere to be found because I was like 6'4", scrawny, like 160 pounds soaking wet. So I was like 57 on the list. And so I would look at 56, 55, all the way up to number 1, who these players are, what club teams they played for. So when we go on an AAU travel circuit, I got to hunt them down, right? And so that became my mission in high school, is to check off every other person, all those 56 other names, hunt them down and knock them down. So when we played at 13, I would size you up and see what your strengths and weaknesses are. How do you approach the game? Are you silly about it? Are you goofy about it? Are you good at it just because you're bigger and stronger than everybody else? Right? Or is there actually thought and skill that you put into it? Right? And when I'd play to my weaknesses. I always work on the things during those games that I was weak at. Left hand, pull-up jump shot, post game. Right? So I have a strategy.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. Since 20 years. It's an everyday process in trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Now, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them. So your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed.
What does losing feel like to you?
It's exciting.
Why is it exciting?
Because it means you have different ways to get better. There's certain things that you can figure out that you can take advantage of, right? Certain weaknesses that were exposed that you need to shore up, right? So it was exciting. It sucks to lose, but the hardest thing is to face that stuff. That's a really, really tough challenge.
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale. Say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. I have to do the hard stuff and watch that game and study that game to not make those mistakes over and over again just because you're brave enough to face it. So you gotta deal with it. Gotta deal with it. Face it, learn from it. You don't want to have that thing again, right? So you gotta really study it, face it. And not to say you'll win the next time you face it, but at least you'll give yourself a better chance. Yeah. It's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is trying to get them as perfect as they can be. What can you do? It's in your control
So control what you can.
You have this mindset, but how did you develop that? I don't know if that's what you call the Mamba mindset, but how did you develop that? And
Well,
when did it start?
It started in middle school and high school. Because a lot of the kids that I was playing against were inner city kids. And so they're looking at me as if, okay, this kid's soft. They felt like they could try to be physical or try to intimidate me and do all this other stuff, which they couldn't, right? But now I'm saying, okay, well, you're trying to attack me, how am I going to attack you? How can I mentally figure out ways to break you down? How can I show you that, no, I have the edge, right? And so that's when it first started for me, is figuring out how to get the upper hand on an opponent that way.
And what would you do to mentally break people down then?
One of the things I would do is, while everybody would be at the cafeteria, work, eating and doing all sort of stuff, I'd just go back to the desk. So that was my way of showing them, yeah, I may be from the suburbs, but you're not going to outwork me. Wow.
Like, I see a lot of players take vacations with other players that are close friends, or just take vacations just to take vacations, or just hang out just to hang out. Like, I never did that. But it was a
Why
choice.
not though? Why didn't you do that?
Well, because when I retire, I didn't want to have to say, I wish I would have done more. I don't want that. I played games with the flu. I played games with 102-degree fever, man. We had a game against Toronto in 2000. And Vince was tearing the league up. My back was jacked. So I would be in the layup line like, okay, there's a lot of days where you can rest and recover. Today ain't one of them. Your back can bother you any other day. That ain't bothering me today. He gonna have to see me today.
You're playing against the Golden State Warriors. Score is 107-109. You guys are close to getting into the playoffs. You know exactly what happens in the game. You go up, you're about to take your shot, and then all of a sudden, boom, Achilles happens, right? Friend of mine, Nima, he is here just to listen to you. He played ball. And he told me, he says, Patrick, I don't think you understand. He says, when I tore my Achilles in high school, he says, 4 friends of mine dragged me to my hospital. I was crying from there straight to the hospital. He says, I have no clue how the hell this guy did it. He went and hit the free throws, and then you walked off the stage. How the hell do you tolerate that kind of pain?
I use this. I tell this example, and I think this is the best way to explain it. You have a hamstring injury, you pull your hamstring really, really badly. You can barely walk, right? Let alone play anything. You're at home, all of a sudden a fire breaks out in the home. Your kids are upstairs, wife is wherever she may be, going down. I'm willing to bet that you're going to forget about your hamstring. You're going to sprint upstairs. You're going to grab your kids. You'll make sure your wife's good. You're getting out of that house. And the reason is because the lives of your family are more important than the injury of your hamstring. And so when the game is more important than the injury itself, you don't feel that. Not at that time. I went in the trainer's room, my kids are in there, and they're looking at you and stuff, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, it's all right, Dad's gonna be all right. It'll be fine. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. As a parent, you gotta set the example. You gotta set the example. This is another obstacle. This obstacle cannot define me. It's not gonna cripple me. It's not gonna be responsible for me stepping away for the game that I love. I'm gonna step away on my own terms. And that's when the decision was made that, you know what, I'm doing it. You gotta lead by example. As parents, you gotta lead by example. If you want your kids to do whatever it is they want to accomplish in life, you have to show them. You gotta show them.
The definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. I think that's what greatness is or should be. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person, that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our stories will impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
I feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. if I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. And so the reason why I can retire now, I'm completely comfortable about it because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be.
This has been absolutely beautiful, you guys. I can't believe it's come to an end. You guys will always be in my heart. And what can I say? Mamba out.
My philosophy was a very simple one. Rudy was one of my favorite films growing up. After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. And that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, do that for 20 years, and what do you have?
Once you have a passionate thing that you're passionate about, and you can look at other people or other entities or other things or works of art, and you can draw things from that to help you be better at what you do by looking for those common denominators. Which I don't even know, how do I prepare? How do I prepare? How do I study? How do I view the game? How do you build your game? And my response is much like the way he builds products. You think sequentially. Yeah, you look at this, the end result of what you want to create, but in order to create that, there's so many other little things that go into this massive entity or device. It's no different than building a basketball game. You start with where you want your game to be, what would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with. Now you work backwards from there, and you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time. You just got to put one foot in front of the other. And, sometimes I think, even for myself, it's easy to become distracted a little bit and start trying to look at what the final picture is going to look like. And, when you do that, you can easily become frustrated with where you are at the moment. So, my advice is just to focus on each day. And, you have a plan in place of how you want to improve and how you want to get better. And you stick to that plan and trust the fact that, every day that you stick to the plan, it'll get you to your end result.
The passion came from the love for the game. I loved everything about it. Like the smell of the ball, the smell of like brand new sneakers, and like the sound the ball makes when it hits the ground, the ball going through the net, like all those things I love. And so the passion comes from that, because once you have that love, you just want to be a part of this thing all the time. Like basketball's helped me be a better person, a better friend, a better father. Well, because there's life lessons that are within the game, like communication, like unselfishness, like attention to detail, and empathy and compassion. Like all those things are in the game. And as an athlete, if you're aware of those things, it helps us become better human beings.
Where did you get your killer instinct from?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with
थोड़ा तो मुझे पता है
isolation. Growing up over there and being the only African-American kid, not being able to speak the language, I gravitated towards the game. And in that game, you find a lot of, you find solace in the game. And then when you play with kids that might not accept you because you're an outsider, but yet when we come to play the game, that's my chance to get vengeance on them for not accepting me. And that's where it kind of started developing. And throughout the course of my life, it's always been that. It's always been the outsider and having to come and improve, or to seek some sort of vengeance when I play. taking things, using things in your life that are scars, using those moments as a weapon. You know, using basketball as kind of like a vehicle through which to express yourself, right? So at that moment, for us to face the Celtics again, it's not about the Celtics. It's not about your opponent. It's about you. It's about you taking your inner struggle and channeling that through the game, right, as a way to unleash, right? So now it became a matter of how do I express that? How do I get them to that point where they figure this out for themselves? Because I can't say, hey, listen, I need you to play harder.
So what'd you do?
Well, I had to share my story. I had to open up to them and let them know I've dealt with things. This is the things that I use. This is how I go about focus. This is how I deal with adversity. This is how I deal with, you know, arguing with my wife the day of the game and showing up to the game and still having that focus to be able to play. Like, I use those things to open up with them. And then in turn, they were able to take those stories and make them their own.
What I try to do is just try to be still and understand that things come and go, emotions come and go. The important thing is to accept them all, to embrace them all, and then you can choose to do with them what you want versus being controlled by emotion. You know, a lot of times I've seen players, even myself, you know, when I was younger, being consumed by a particular fear, and to the point where you're saying, okay, nah, it's not good to feel fear. I shouldn't be nervous in this situation, like, nah. And it does nothing but grow. Versus stepping back and saying, yeah, I am nervous about the situation. Yeah, I am fearful about the situation. Well, what am I afraid of? And then you kind of unpack it. And then it gives you the ability to look at it for really what it is, which is nothing more than your imagination running its course, you know?
When you're going into the league, you're going with a lot of guys that were, you know, same age, you know, same class as you were going in.
In terms of
Were you sizing those guys at the same exact way as you did in high school?
I did, but you know, in the NBA, it was actually easier. Because what I found in the NBA is a lot of guys played for financial stability. And when they came to the NBA, they got that financial stability. So therefore, the passion and the work ethic and the obsessiveness was gone. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh my, this is gonna be like taking candy from a baby. No wonder Mike wins all these fucking championships. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the players that had that passion, but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing that, right? It's a choice, right? You have other things. You have family. You have all these other things that you have to do. The game can't really be your number one priority. And so I was just looking at that like, man, this is gonna be fun. It's just a matter of what's important to you. And what's important to you, for whatever reason, you know, I felt like I didn't feel good about myself if I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best version of myself. If I felt like I left anything on the table, it would eat away at me. I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. And so the reason why I can retire now and be completely comfortable about it, because I know that I've done everything I could to be the best basketball player I could be. And so that's where it comes from for me. You can't leave any stone unturned. I'm not one that really believe in failure. I believe you have setbacks. And you know, you have to learn from those. You have to learn what are those landmines that can be avoided the next time. What are those pitfalls? And you have to learn from that stuff. And so you're not welcome those things. It's a part of life.
But are you prepared to like really fail at something totally new? Like, what if you're just VC?
Then I'm a VC, yeah. You know, and then I work at it, and then I'm not a VC the next year, or, you know, whenever it happens.
Yeah.
You know? Listen, my first year in the league on national TV, at 18 years old, I shot 5 straight air balls in the playoffs in front of millions of people.
Yeah.
I think my tolerance is pretty high.
Yeah.
I think I'm all right. There's a quote from one of my English teachers at Lord Marion named Mr. Fisk. He had a great quote that said, rest at the end, not in the middle. And that's something I always live by. I'm not going to rest. I'm going to keep on pushing now. There are a lot of answers that I don't have, and even questions that I don't have. But I'm just going to keep going.
just going to keep going, and I'll figure these things out as you go, right? And you just continue to build that way. So I try to live by that all the time.
You know, I look at this incredible career you've had, and you're still just, what, 23? Do you appreciate it at this young an age, or do you have to be a little bit older to step back and say, wow, what an unbelievable ride this has been. What an extraordinary opportunity and blessing I've had in my life.
That's something that I do now, yes. It's something that I've been able to do at the end of last season, kind of step back and just enjoy the moment. And more so after September 11th. Not just the game of basketball, but just little things, just going to the store, you know, or going to the movies, something like that. I've been able to kind of just sit back and just enjoy life. Enjoy the moment. Yeah, that's really the most important thing, is enjoy the moment. And, that's why here at the Olympics, I try to get out to as many events as I possibly can. Understanding that these situations don't come around too often. You're here. While you're here, you have to try to take advantage of it as much as possible. Have a good time. Enjoy life. And it's life is too short to get bogged down, to be discouraged, or you have to keep moving. You have to keep going. Put one foot in front of the other, smile, and just keep on rolling.
What I've learned is to always keep going. Always. You know, there's been times, particularly early in my career, where it just feels like this is the end. But what I've come to find out is that, you know, no matter what happens, the storm eventually ends. And when the storm does end, you want to make sure that you're ready.
You have to dance beautifully in the box that you are comfortable dancing in, right? So, like, everybody's box is different. My box was to be extremely ambitious within the sport of basketball. Your box is different than mine, right? Every kid here has their own box. It doesn't mean that your box is as beautiful as mine, right? Everybody has their own. It's your job to try to perfect it and make it as beautiful of a canvas as you can make it. And if you have done that, you have lived a successful life. You have lived with my mentality. I mean, it's an obsessiveness that comes along with it. You want things to be as perfect as they can be, understanding that nothing is ever perfect. But the challenge is trying to get them as perfect as they can be. And what can you do? It's in your control. So control what you can. I can watch film all day long. It's going to help me get better. Yes. We're not on this stage just because of talent or ability. We're up here because of 4 a.m. We're up here because of 2-a-days or 5-a-days. We're up here because we had a dream and let nothing stand in our way. If anything tried to bring us down, we used it to make us strong. We were never satisfied, never finished, will never be retired. My high school English teacher, Mr. Fisk, he had this beautiful quote, and it read, "Rest at the end, not in the middle." And I took that to heart. I believe there's time for resting at the end, but for me, that time is not now. Thank you for this tremendous honor of acknowledging my basketball career, but I'm far from done. My next dream is to be honored one day for inspiring the next generation of athletes to have a dream, sacrifice for it, and never, ever rest in the middle. I come back to America in the summertime, I'm playing in the summer league, and I don't score a point the whole summer.
Not one point the entire summer?
Not 1 point. Not a free throw, not a layup, not a steal, nothing. 0 points the whole summer. I remember crying about it, being upset about it. My father just gave me a hug and said, "Listen, son, don't worry about it. We're gonna love you if you score 0 or 50. You know?" Wow. Now that is the most important thing that you can say to a child. Because from there, I was like, okay, that gives me all the confidence in the world to fail. I have the security there. But the hell with that, I'm scoring 60. Let's go. Right. And from there, I just went to work. I knew that I was not going to be stopped. So at the age of 18, this was my life, right? So you can't possibly become better than me because you're not spending the time on it that I do. Even if you want to spend the time on it, you can't because you have other things. You have other responsibilities that are taking you away from it. So I already won.
Do you remember your first big expenditures?
Nah, not really. I'm not really a big, I wasn't a big, like, you know, I gotta get this car or whatever. I was just all about the game. The game just completely consumed
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
Okay now? You all feeling good? We got this.
Fight!
There's that. Uh-huh. Got 3. 4. Too slow. Done. Yep. Got 3. Too bad.
10 kills remaining.
You're done. Got 3. Four. There's that. Too slow.
5 kills remaining.
Got 3. 4.
Remaining.
Make the break.
तो इनके जो माँ बहन हो रही है भाई कसम से कहूँ ना दिमाग ही खराब हो गया यार।
Match found.
सेकंड है मैं फोन चार्ज पे लगा दूं।
Death match. Warm up.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy.
Fight!
For you, hermanita. Phoenix killed. Phoenix killed. You're done. For dead.
Dominating.
Three souls.
Dominating.
Enough.
Just crossboard activity.
Ten kills remaining.
Three souls. For dead. Dead. Three souls. For dead.
5 kills remaining. Dominating.
Poor wretch. Insecto.
One kill remaining.
Pathetic. Is the breathing? Excellent. Then we're done.
नहीं यार रात को ठीक है जॉब वो पे पूरे 10 बजे से 7 तक तो जनरली मेरे को टाइम मिल जाता है सोने का बट आज आई डोंट थिंक
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
Race it to the spike site.
Fight.
Let's go. Night night. Yikes. 3.
दो ग्रेड यार लगे
One down. Ooh.
ग्रेड के शेयर ही लग रहा पूरा
3. See ya. Enemy killed.
पॉइंटलेस है
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
क्या क्या बोलते हो कौन पड़ते हैं मोबाइल ऑन
They will die, hopeless and afraid.
Fight!
I want to see you crawl.
Just 2 बुलेट में खत्म नहीं लगी तो फिर छोड़ दूंगा मैं
Get out of my way.
ये तो नहीं करना है यार ये
Sky's
करना है
dead. Put down.
Dominating.
कर लो किसने गया थोड़ा चलता हुआ तो यार
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
क्या करूँ भाई मैं अपने कैसे ठीक करूँ यार आराम से लेता हूँ
You know the drill. Gear up and get back out there. I don't want any sass about it.
Fight!
Show yourself, you can. Too slow.
कोई सुबह सुबह क्या साले हर लॉबी में नीड वन लिख के फिरता है पागल कहेंगे
Next. Sorry, little wind. Got 3. Uh-huh. Too bad. Sorry, little wind.
छोटा मैप है वैसे तो धैर्य पर आने चाहिए उनमें भी मिसिंग ओए
สมน้ำหน้าอุ้ย
अरे हाँ याद आया मुझे मतलब रात को सूट होता है करने में ये ट्राई करते हैं यार
Dominating.
हायर रेजोल्यूशन मींस मोर पिक्सेल्स टू एडजस्ट सो नेटिव पे खेलता हूँ लेट्स सी That's not what it is. I don't know. Precisely 2 minutes for the morning. Very challenging.
You're done. Mi king Oniba. There's that.
Ten kills remaining.
Yep. Uh-huh. Four. You're done.
Five kills remaining. One kill remaining.
Yep.
ठीक हो तो होगा सब ऐसे
Man, I love you guys. So goddamn proud.
Match found. Deathmatch. Warm up.
No stopping now. Not until the job is done.
Fight!
Aram se. Chal hai. Woohoo! See that? Alvida. Too slow. Got it. Stay down. Got 3. Enforce that. Got 3.
10 kills remaining.
इन आ जाएगा मैं तो खेलते खेलते
5 kills remaining. One kill remaining.
Well fought, people.
Match found. Death match. Warm up.
He says their bullets tickle.
Fight!
Dream big, make it happen. Nice! Got him. Cornball. Gotcha.
Dominating.
Got 4! Sit down. And you're done. Folded.
Remaining.
Scoot, cuate. I'll take it.
5 kills remaining.
See ya. Cornball.
One kill remaining.
Peace. One more. All right. Much love, team.
हो गया यार, अब दिन में खेलते हैं। थोड़ा डिजी सा भी लग रहा है, अभी तो फायदा नहीं है ऐसे खेल के, बस नहीं हुआ तो गलत प्रैक्टिस होगी। ऑलराइट गाइस, सी यू।